Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Here we are to fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. It's a warm welcome. I know it's early, but on the weekends I come on early at 8 o'clock. And I talk about, you know, the child protection system. It's a system that is mandated. Well, actually, it was started by an act of Congress in 1962, where it mandated that social service would create a group of social workers that would protect our children from neglect and abuse. And this group of social workers formed what is called today the child protection system. Now, there's many different names in different counties, different states. Every state has counties, and within the counties, you have social services, and you'll have your child protection system. And it's also worldwide too. This is a live podcast, and I have people from around the world that listen in too. So um, I'm really happy to talk to anyone that has a problem with their children and getting their children back or hanging on to their children, because it's a hard thing when you have your family broken up. I really think it's terrible when that does happen. Um, it's it's hard because you haven't encountered this system before. Um, it's it's a government entity that has gone really rogue. It's gone about 50% of the child protection systems are bad, and I um, want you to know that I'm here um, twice a day, 7 days a week, and I've been doing this now for over 2 years. I started in October of 2023, and I'm glad that you'd found me, and I'm glad that I can help you here with your particular case. Um, now, there are lots of things you can do in this live stream. Um, we have the first thing is that you can text a message where you could either formate a question or a comment about CPS. All I ask is your name and your location. And if you're outside of the United States, please list your countries. All you in here, you don't have to list your country, the US. I know all the states. All I need is the city, the state, and I pretty much know where you're at. But sometimes I don't know all the cities. That's one thing. I know a lot of cities, but I may not know them all. And a lot of you are from small cities and things like that. And but anyway, that's one way to interact in this live stream. You can also be a guest on my live stream. That means where you can send me an email ahead of time. Please send me your name, your email, and your phone number, and the day you want me to show. Now I'm on, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and on the weekend at 8 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Then nighttime I'm on at 7 p.m. 7 nights a week. There I am. And that's 14 live streams. And in that email to me, and it's at bobp at vincentwdays.com, you just list that particular show you want to be on. You could say, I want to be on Bob's Sunday morning show, or Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show. And that's all there is to it. And I'd love to have you be a guest. So the rules are simple. We are very respectful in this room. We respect one another. We focus on the CPS. There's no profanity. We do not use profanity in here, and we do not eat or smoke during the live stream. And we also don't use the names of children, judges, or social workers. And that's it. And I can have up to you 9 of you. With me makes 10. And I'd love to have you there. There's no question. I'd love to have you. So you can be a guest. Now, the last thing that you can do now is that you can call in. I want to put my number up. It's 626-698-0990. So you can call in. And good morning, Aaron from Tennessee. You're one of the first people here. It's so good to see you, Aaron. Aaron is from Tennessee. She's a special lady who's been coming in here, and she's been very respectful and helpful to this room. And she had lost 2 of her children, and now she's trying to hang on to the 3rd one. And it's been really hard in her case because in her area, Tennessee has really been bad and corrupt. It's been bad and corrupt. But I'm glad you're here, Aaron, and I'm hoping you could ask me some questions or help me out in what you'd like me to talk about. Now, I can talk about a lot of topics, So you can either text me a message, be a guest, or call in. And my number I'm going to leave up there till we get someone that wants to call in. Oh, boy. Now, in this live stream, these topics that come up, just like say you want to talk about ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978. That's something to do with the Native Indians, the first immigrants to our country. And it's supposed to protect the Indian children. It's supposed to protect the Indian children. Now, we got somebody that just texted me a message here on my business phone here. Who was that? Well, shoot, who's the messages here? Oh, boy, there's a long one here. Today, it's Megan Wilson from Wilmington, Delaware. Wow, I haven't talked to you in a while. We have a text message here, Megan Wilson, Wilmington, Delaware. I've not been in touch. I've been going through a lot. I've been keeping silent in constant fear of my life. So much going on here in Wilmington, Delaware. I remember Megan Wilson there from Delaware. I'm sure you heard of Charlie Kirk. Well, Wilmington, Delaware has a major part of the whole assassination. It's all about Charlie walking up to the facts that his nonprofit was flipped to child sex trafficking organization involving Wilmington, Delaware. I literally have not a penny or a plot to get away from here for my son's safety. And I'm a target because I'm speaking out. I never sent off that paper because I know that the American government, as including Donald Trump, who I voted for, and believe it is being ran by a puppet with foreign entities. I don't know about this. And our government has been overthrown. Basically, therefore, they are part of the trafficking within the children realm, young teens, the system. So many secrets here in Wilmington. I did not know that. Um, the DEA, the CIA, the FBI, and other government abbreviation entities all working together in one building under one address, never known to happen in history, but all happened in Wilmington, Delaware, funneling money and drugs and children through the pipelines and the shipping yards, Egyptian planes flying in the two only airports, a small state called Wilmington Airport, the day of Charlie's assassination with a foreign dignity. Boy. Um, Left took off for Provo, Utah, where Charlie was assassinated. However, those people were not Egyptians that were not on the plane. Okay, this is a text message. Um, I'm asking if she wants me to call her. Okay, so that was a very interesting message today. So that was Megan Wilson from Wilmington, Delaware, and she's been a regular of her show there. It's good to hear from her. It's good to hear from her. I just text her back and see if she wants me to call her in. But I'm glad to hear from her. I have, 30 to 50 regular people that come here all the time, like Aaron. And you listen and you help out. And, um, I am really here for you. Um, there's another number there besides my number, 626-698-0990. That's the number you can reach and talk to me. There's another number, 888-888-6582. That's the law office of Vincent W. Davis. And that's where you can call in if you want to hire him, or maybe you want a book, or find out the show times of the other live streams. Because you'll reach reception. Make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. That is really, really important. And trying to Um, anyway, Aaron, what is new with you and how are you doing today? Love to hear from you, Aaron. If any particular question you may have run across that I can answer, because it seems like it's slow this morning. We have a few people in the room here, and so I love to help you with a special attention to help you, Aaron. I'm so glad you're here. It just place sometimes is really low, and it's early in the morning. I know it's 8 o'clock here on the West Coast, but in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, I think you are 3 hours ahead of me. So 8 to 9, 9, 10, 10 to 11. It's 11 o'clock your time, a little after 11. So that's better. That's a better time for you. And so that's why I do this show on the weekends, is to get a lot of people that maybe, around the world, around this country here, a better time zone, better time for the live stream. And anyway, as I was saying, you call that number 888-888-6582, and that's the law office of Vincent Davis. And there you can hire Mr. Davis. Make sure when you tell the people, the reception, that that I sent you, that Bob Pace sent you. So you mention my name, Bob Pace, and that helps you. And also when you talk to Vincent Davis, you mention Bob Pace. See, like say here that that I talk to you and stuff there and stuff. So okay. Oh boy. Now, when I mention around the world, so far I've talked to people. Basically, the countries that have I've talked to either by texting or by a phone number have been Indonesia, Bangladesh, India. We go up to the Middle East, and it's Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Libya. Then we go to the continent of Africa, and it's been Liberia and Sudan, and then it's been the Democratic Republic of Congo, and then we're Rwanda, and then Mozambique, and then the South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe has been the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales. And then we have Germany, Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, we have Canada and its provinces. Then we go down to the United States, and all 50 states have either texted in or called in or something like that. I've even heard from Washington, D.C., which is not a state. And then south of the border, Mexico. And then in Central America, Belize. And then in South America, north of Brazil, and the East Coast, Grenada. Then we go to the South Pacific, and it's New Zealand. And then the land down under, Australia and states. So that's a wide variety of countries, including the United States. That's 26 so far that have, talked or text here. And we just had Leica from South Africa call in yesterday. We have some really interesting people with all walks of life. But one thing they all have in common And so far, I've talked to 3,050 some people, and including myself. The in common is they ran into a rogue CPS, a CPS that is bad, a CPS that is not good. And that that is hard when you run into a group that is not that good. You expect everybody to be nice and decent, but that's not necessarily the case. That's not necessarily the case. Now, I've developed 5 rules that will help you with your case. And the first rule, the most important one, is, of course, you get an attorney aboard. You need someone that can defend you, that knows all about fighting CPS. They should be a juvenile law, family law, and dependency law attorney, schooled and educated and everything like that. And it's very, very important. And there's 3 questions you want to ask. So you want to, there's 2 questions. You need to talk to 3 candidates, 3 attorneys. You first got to find them. And one of the easiest way to find them is have a correct search of your words. You start off with the city, followed by the state, and then the letter CPS. If you're outside the United States, you put the country and then CPS. And then your question B is find a juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney, and suddenly a bunch of names will pop up. Now, what you got to do is look at the website and see which one you like and which one you don't like, based on what you're reading. And you want to narrow down to 3 candidates. And then you want to ask them, you call them up and ask them 2 questions to further filter them out so that you get 3 strong candidates to talk to when you have your appointment. But you talk to them first by calling and asking them, have they ever fought? You ask them first, are they a juvenile law, family law, dependency attorney? Have they ever fought CPS and won children back? If the answer is yes, you ask the second question. And that is, after the case is over, you ever done a lawsuit against CPS and won money? If the answer is yes, then you got yourself a candidate. So you need to come up with 3 of those. Then you need to call them and, find out more about them and set up a time to meet with them. You need to meet with somebody to get the chemistry. It's so important that you have chemistry with these people. There's no question about that, because you don't have chemistry, not the same wage page, and you don't like them or whatever, they're not going to do good for your case. They're not going to do good for your case. So that's why I'm saying is that you really need to see them on that there. Now, you want to talk to them about their how much they're going to ask for up front for retainer, and how much salary is there, how much they charge per hour. Usually most lawyers, most attorneys bill at 1/10 of an hour, 1/10. So, mm-hmm. Okay. Oh. bright and early. Anyway, Aaron, are you awake? I haven't heard anything more from you. I know it's early, but I haven't heard anything more from you. Now, you have to understand is that, Vincent could be one of your three candidates to select as attorney. He is trained and educated as a juvenile law, family law, and dependency law attorney. He has fought for 40 years of getting children back and very successful getting children back. He's also a trial attorney. What that means, he can do trials in criminal matters, things that involve trials. See, CPS doesn't involve trials. It should. I think there should be a jury trial. What I'm trying to say, a jury trial, because right now, the way CPS works is decided by one man. It's the judge. He makes a decision, and sometimes the judges can be bad. And I really believe that your case should be a jury trial. And Vincent also is not only a trial attorney, he's also a civil rights attorney. He can do a claim against them. Now, yes, he's a trial attorney. He does criminal matters because a lot of times you'll get accused in a criminal matter, and that comes from the district attorney's office. A detective will investigate and then turn in his report to the district attorney to further charge the person with a criminal offense. And that's terrible because the same things in CPS can be charged criminally as a misdemeanor, some things as a felony. So he has that background, criminal attorney. And as I told you, he's also civil rights. He has won lawsuits, both in federal court and state court, where he's won millions of dollars. So he can be hired. He does go to outside of outside of California. He go to other states too, and he goes Northern California and Southern California. Right now, his office where he works out of is Arcadia, and he has a reasonable retainer of $5,000. That's approximation, and it's $500 an hour is his charge. And but you need to talk to him to narrow it down because it all depends on the complexity of your case and how long the case has been going on to firm up that price. But that gives you kind of a ballpark. Also, it seems like if he goes to Georgia or Wisconsin, it's $125,000 retainer. You probably say, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I know it's a lot. But he has to pay for his ground transportation, his air transportation, his hotel accommodation and food, and the license he has to get in that state. So it takes a lot of upfront money first. Let me see what else I got here. Oh boy, let me see if I put this here. Yes, that's how it shows that whoever calls in, you can see your messages up on my screen. Anyway, fighting CPS can be very emotional. And you got to keep your emotions in check. So that's why you use attorneys. And hopefully you'll get one that that is good. Vincent was my attorney, and he helped me get two of my children back. I have 6 children I've raised. 3 of them were unaware at the beginning of the CPS matter, and they weren't at home anyway. They had moved out, and so they have families of their own. And then my youngest 3 were still living at home. And those are the ones that were trafficked, taken into a foster home, or it was terrible. You don't want them to go to a foster home. You don't want them in your home. Like, you got to learn my rule number 3. It talks about saying no to social workers, no to the police. But I cannot forget rule number 2. That's documentation. And you should get yourself a 3-ring binder and put all your documents in that. Just hole punch them, and you can organize them and use folders. Uh, uh, Not folders, tabs. Tabs. The alphabetical tabs, or write the name of the section you have, so that way you can find the documents. Because you're going to get court papers, you're going to get social worker papers, you're going to have drug tests. If you're taking drug tests, you're going to have results. Um, there's a lot of things you can organize your tabs into. There's some important documents you think you should be creating. One of them is the time log incident form. It's just simply take a notebook piece of paper. You might need a whole bunch of them, but you're going to record every incident you have, either with the social workers or with the police or with the children or any of them that, another parent, the school, whatever it is. All I'm asking is uh, you put your name first. Excuse me. You take 3 lines to report the incident. And on the first line, you put either the phone number or the address where the incident occurred. You put the date and time initially, then the phone number, the place where the incident occurred, and then you want to put out who was involved, a list of the names of who was involved. Then on that second line, you're going to put a summary of what the incident was all about, a short summary of what the incident is all about. And then the third line, you put the outcome. If the incident has resolved, you write the results there. Otherwise, leave it blank, because it's important that we don't overlook, your concerns that are kind of personal to you. And then the third line is a summary of what took place. If it isn't done, then you leave it blank and come back later and fill it out. But that time log is a really important document, and I wish a lot of people did that. Now, the other documentation that you should start is a journal, and you should be writing to your children. That's the best way to look at it. You should tell them what you're going through and how you're hurting and so forth. They may not be able to read that till you get your children back, but you want to write them and tell them how much you care and how much you love them and so forth. So, wow. I find sometimes it's hard to talk when no one's talking. And I'm trying to wake people up in the morning, People are bouncing in and out, I notice. They've been doing that a lot lately. Hmm. Right now, I don't know if Erin stepped out or not. She can get very emotional, and it may be a hard time for her today because it is. Fighting CPS, they're corrupt. They do retaliate. They're all about money. They all want money and bonuses, which is hard. All they want is money and bonuses, and you have to be careful about that. Now, this other document is a journal. You should write a diary or a journal about what's taken place and write it to your kids because they will see it after your case is over or something terribly happens. Maybe they'll see it later in life, but it's important you write a journal to your kids and tell them what you're doing and what you're going through and how much you miss them and how much you love them. So that's all about documents. That's my number two. And then my third one, number three, is about how to say no or not to say yes if they want to talk to you. You do not want to talk to social workers or police, especially come to your house. If your door is closed, it should be, you have a door that is like a drawbridge and it's closed. And you you certainly, when you hear the knock at the door, your immediate reaction is to be quiet. Listen, try to look through your peephole on your door or a window, but don't open it so they see that someone's looking at them. And if it's a bunch of policemen, don't be intimidated by them. You do not have to open a door to strangers. Policemen and social workers are strangers. And you don't have to talk to them. They'll come back or they'll leave you some information to follow up. But that should be your time that you want to get an attorney together. Because the next time you show up, you want to have an attorney present. Okay. Um, wow. This journal can be a heartache, but it's something that your children will appreciate because in the CPS custody of your children, they don't talk about the case. They don't tell what your parents are doing or they're trying to do corrective measures or they're coming back. They try to alienate the children in CPS and in foster care. That's their goal is to alienate them and have adopted. And it's really bad because in 1997, President Clinton signed a law, the incentive law, which basically says that they'll pay any CPS a total of $35,000 if the child's adopted into foster care. Um, yeah, they definitely want to do that and so forth there. Um, okay. Oh, we got another text message here. We'll see there. We got about 10 minutes left of my show. Wow, time has moved fast in my show. It ends at 9 o'clock, and I do have to go on the air and at the bank on Saturday. Um, anyway, that's enough about the documentation. We need to move on to the coming to the knocking of the door. So don't answer the door. If you happen to encounter them outside, ask them right off the bat. Be nice to them and courteous, but ask them, is this regarding a legal matter? If it is, you tell them that you can't meet with them at this time until you have your attorney present, and you need to get your attorney aboard. And so you just ask them to give them the date and time they can meet, or the phone number and their name, so you can call them up and arrange a time to meet. You don't want to meet at their office. You don't want to meet at your home. You want to meet at a public place where you can record it and document the meeting, such as the library, your local library, Starbucks, or McDonald's. They usually have a good place you can sit there and talk. And you can film it and record the conversation. So if they do come to, your house, you just don't let them in. If you're outside, you can, scare them away by saying you need to have an attorney present. If you do let them in the house, and the only way they get in the house, by the way, is either you or a family member gives permission for someone to come to the house, or they have what's called a court warrant. That's the legal documentation from the court that gives specific instructions of what they can do, and they should show you the paperwork. It's much a public record there is. And it is hard because they're nervous, they're intimidating. And they will come into the house if there's loud noises, if there's fighting going on. They will come on if they can tell or hear that. So that's why you want to be quiet. You want to get in the habit of having a special knock or a special ring to let them in. Special knock or special ring. So, another part of this rule number 3 is child trafficking. It's where you go to urgent care, the emergency room, and the social workers, and they're working, and they end up trying to take your child away. Don't talk to them. You don't need to. And especially if you're having a baby, you don't need them in your room or bothering you. You need to get out of your room. When you make your arrangements to have your baby, you want to make it prearranged that only the people on your list are allowed in. So I got to wrap up my show, and we got to end it shortly. We have about 5 more minutes before I end it. And thank you, Christina Reynoso, for the thumbs up. I guess that I must be something different. I got to find out what that really shows because I guess people in the room, you don't know whether they're in here or not. You never know. You never know. But we have Christina Reynoso in the room who is from Las Vegas, Nevada, and she wants to help you guys out and she'll help others. She's doing this synopsis thing, which is great. I want to thank her for that and so forth. So if you're having a baby, don't let them in your room. You only let the people that you have on your list. Because they're going to try to find something wrong. They can take your child. They want to take your child. Now, rule 4 is how they use the internet. There's a new AI out, Chat GPT, that is good as Google Chrome. And so with Google Chrome is a good search engine, so is Chat GPT. So when you do your format of words, it starts off with the city, followed by the state, and then you want to put the letter CPS. Now, if you're from outside the country, you can put it, the country after your city or your state, so forth, and then you can put CPS, and then you just ask the question right away, and you'll get your answers. The internet is really good. You should spend many, many, many hours or days or months there to research things to find out what they're looking for. Now, I have about 3 minutes left before 9 o'clock. And my rule number 5 is to make copies of important documents: your marriage certificate, your driver's license, your registration, your child's not registration, I'm sorry, your birth certificate, your child, and so forth, your marriage license. Those are the important documents. You want to put the grade reports of the children. And all you do is make copies and put it in an envelope and have it with your notebook. Have it with your notebook. Now, I'm going to, since we don't have much chat right now, I'm going to take that off the screen. So I'll close that down. And then I'm going to take my phone number off because no one's calling in. I'm going to put the Department of Doge. That's a Department of Government Efficiency called Doge, DOGE. That's the abbreviation of it. And they are at the federal level. They have a website, you can learn all about them, but they're investigating government entities, and CPS is one of them. They're investigating them. They also have 2 phone numbers. Area code 22 is the White House. And they have this last thing, which is email. You can send an email to them. So if you didn't get anywhere at the county level and you went from the social worker to the supervisor to the manager to the director, you got nowhere, and I could relate to that. Then you gone to from uh, So please, that's a resource. Please use it wisely. Now, I don't want y'all to give up. And if anytime you feel like you don't know about your child or something like that, always come here first to talk about it. And I will help you. You tell me what you want to say. I want to thank Aaron and Christina Reynoso for being on this morning and so supportive. I'm glad to see them all the time. I really am. Really, I am. And let me see. I'm trying to think anybody else we should be in here. There'll be a brief video when I end my live stream, okay? There'll be a brief video. Please watch it, and I'll see you tonight. It's Saturday night at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And I look forward to it. I want you all to have a happy day, and be safe, and do not stop fighting for your children. God bless you all.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the
last ones left. Put your faith